Hello, Marty. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I hope you had a great weekend. Yeah, I don't know too much, Marty. My weekend was okay. Went to Fargo. And that was an experience in itself. I just think Walmart's kind of like a circus. I used to go to that Walmart on the south end of Fargo because it used to be like the nice Walmart. I mean, you walk in there, it looked nice, it was clean. But the last time I was there, so I usually go to Fargo or Jamestown every weekend, depending on what I actually need. And so I went to Fargo. So a couple weekends ago, I had to go to Fleet Farm, and then I went to that Walmart, but holy Toledo's. There's a bunch of hicks running around in there. I'm surprised they didn't get kicked out. Boy, I was surprised they didn't get kicked out. Oh, I don't know what they were doing. And it was a disaster. It was like a tornado went through it. Then I thought, why drive out of the way to go to that Walmart when I can just go to the crazy Walmart on 13th? That's what I call that. And yeah, I think I'm done going to Walmarts in Fargo. They are just a crapshoot of a store. But yeah, so, and I couldn't really find what I was looking for. So that was the frustrating part. I went there to find something for egg processing to make activity a little bit more easier, but I'm not going back there. Oh, by the way, I should, you know what, hold on for a minute. I got to do something for another class, otherwise I'm going to forget. So, okay, did that. I'm back. I have to do something with apples in a class, and I forgot to take them out of the freezer. So I have to stick those in the microwave. I should have put them in the freezer. Took them out yesterday, but I forgot. But anyways, but yeah, other than that, not too much. Walked to work today again, and then like, there's this, down the hill, there's a couple crazy houses down there. There's this lady just hanging out. Scared the crap out of me. Holy Toledo's. I don't know. She was talking, and I don't know if she was talking to me or talking to herself or talking to, maybe there was someone else there. I just didn't know. I had my earbud things in when I walk, and so, oh, I walked a little faster to get up the hill. So I was huffing and puffing. When I got here, I was sweating. Oh, so I cranked the air conditioner up, down, turned it on, that's what I should say, in my room, so that I could do something. It's cool down. But anyways, let's get going on today's topic. So we've been talking about, I've given you, talking a little bit about beef operations. We talk about the cow calf, you talk about the feedlot, we talk about the purebreds. And I should have mentioned last week that sometimes there's a fourth one. Some people call feeders a whole separate one, but you can lump that. They do the same thing as feedlots. So some people say there's 4 different segments of raising beef cattle. You might as well. I like this one because it has 3 cattle feeders. See, you can even say they use cattle feeders for feedlot. So I shouldn't say feeders. Some people call finishers. Well, feedlots are usually finishers. So they, if they're in the feedlot, after the feedlot, they go to the slaughterhouse. Okay. We're gonna talk about the first one here is the purebred cow calf breeders. So purebred is what, Marty? So think about that. What is a purebred versus a crossbred? Okay. I think if I remember correctly, you raised Angus, are they full Angus or are they crossed between another breed? So purebreds would be a purebred, like Black Angus. It's a Black Angus cow bred to a Black Angus bull to get a Black Angus calf. There's no other breed in there. And of course there are a bunch of different breeds. I usually use Angus as my example just because it's usually the most common. I would say Angus and Hereford are probably the most common because they're the most, they can do well on any kind of terrain, especially in North Dakota. They can tolerate the cold, they can tolerate the heat. Herefords are a little bit more tolerable than Black Angus, just because Black Angus are black. They don't really like the hot sun, just because it absorbs all the heat. You know, with Herefords, they're red and white, so they don't get as hot. So some people will say Herefords are a little more durable breed. They're a little more docile breed too. I just remember we raised Black Angus during calving time. And granted, we didn't have a lot. We had anywhere from 5 when we first started out to maybe 15 at the most. We just didn't want a big herd. Plus they were us kids, not our parents. So they were 4-H and FFA projects. So, and we had other jobs, school. So, and we just couldn't afford to have big herds, and we just didn't have a lot of space. So I just remember during calving season, it was a pain in the butt to, go check on the calf when it was born. It was just not fun, I just remember one time we had a set of twins and the twins had died because they were premature. But we had to get them out of the pasture because they were born in the pasture. We always calved later in the year so they could calve outside. Side note, if cows can calve like out on pasture, they tend to have a better success rate versus calving in like a lot or a barn. But that's a topic for another day. But anyways, she was a mean old cow. God, she was mean. I just remember now. You couldn't, like, we even when she wasn't calving or had a calf, or it was fall after we taken she was always mean. She just charged you. She hated humans. That's what she hated, and we don't know why. So it's not like she had she was just a mean-spirited animal. I'm so glad when Dad got rid of her. She was always going through the fence, always chasing her down. But anyways, God, I just remember Black Angus, and I was the fastest of all the kids. So I would go in and like dance around, distract her, and luckily she had these twins that were dead near a fence. So my dad and my brother, I distracted her, so she came after me, ran to the fence. Dad and brother just like laid under the fence and quickly pulled the dead calves. But, oh, Black Angus. I mean, get a lot of money. You can get a lot of money for Black Angus, but they can be a pain in the butt to raise. So, purebred calf operations, they're raising a particular breed. Black Angus, there's the Herefords, there's the Simmentals, there's the Maine Anjous. You go down south, they got the Brahmins, they got the Texas Longhorns. Those are designed to tolerate the heat. Brahmins are big. You see all their loose skin, and you're thinking they're always a hot animal, but you really don't see a dark colored one that often. They are naturally more light. The loose skin is actually a cooling. The big ears, it was designed for hot summers, especially in Texas and in Florida, in those areas, and down into Mexico. They're designed for heat, to tolerate the heat. And so Texas Longhorns is another one. Texas Longhorns do very good when it's a drought. Okay, their body structure, Texas Longhorns don't get very big. They get big horns, but they don't get very tall. They're a very short animal. And so, but anyways, So purebred cow calf producers take a breed, and what their main purpose is, when they sell off the calves, they're selling them to cow calf operations, which is the first one, and we'll talk about cow calf operations next in a different video. So they're supplying the livestock, beef animals, for the cow calf producers. So when they sell their calves, sometimes you'll go to an auction and an auction barn, and it's, you know, most auction people, when they sell their calves, you know, they contract with an auction barn. So, you know, if it's a black Angus, they're going to make sure that there are black Angus buyers, or just cow calf operators, cow calf producers there, so that they're buying. And some people do private sales. Some do, you know, special. You know, a couple years ago, I went to jungles just south of Catherine. You know, they just do short horns. But people buying the bulls there aren't always necessarily going to breed them with other shorthorns. So they're buying bulls to use, and when we talk about EPDs, you know, that's what the farmer's really looking for. Is, you know, does that EPDs match what they have in their herd already? All right, so purebred. So I talk about jungles south of town. They raise shorthorns, and another student I had a couple years ago, the Vockles, you know, they raise shorthorn. There's the the Donleys. They serve on my advisory board for Ag Ed. You know, they're just a little bit west of town here. They have Herefords, and so you get a variety of different breeds. You know, some people want to be a purebred, some want to be just cow calf, where they raise different, you know, their herd is consistent of a lot of crossbreds. So that's right. All right, so what I want you to do today is I'm going to give you this PowerPoint. So this PowerPoint is I'm standing in the different breeds of livestock. This PowerPoint, I would say, are the common breeds found in North America. Because as you can see, we get down here. You got the Brahmin. Remember, this is the Brahmin. You don't see them very often. And then Santa Gratuitous, don't see them very often. And you got, so they're like, the last three are more designed for the South. But anyways, what I want you to do is to read through this PowerPoint. And I want you to pick out your top 5 breeds and put them in order. Now, if one of the breeds on here, if you have another breed in mind that's not on the PowerPoint, go ahead and select it. So, for example, I'm gonna go over here. You know, I'm gonna pick my breeds. So these are, should have been top. So make sure you put top in there. If I'm gonna pick my top breeds, okay, so number 3, I'm always gonna say is Angus. Okay, that's because what we raised. Did I always enjoy it? No. It was a breed. When we raised our cattle, our dad always picked our breeds for us. We had to raise Black Angus. So my first one, and I'm just doing it because I think they're my favorite breed. They're called the Speckled Parks. Okay, it's more of a Canadian breed. They're white with black specks. There are just the Parks. There's another name for them that are more just black with a white head. Okay. Then I'm gonna go Shorthorn, just because I think Shorthorns are pretty. I'm gonna go with the polled Herefords. Polled means there's two types of Herefords. There's the polled and the are they in here? I don't even know if they're in here. Here we go. So we got the Hereford right here. If it's just called Hereford, it has horns. If it has polled, it doesn't have horns. Okay? They're the same animal. Just one has the horns. They designed it to get rid of the horns. Okay? All right. So then I've never really gone down, but I have always found these animals to be unique, and that's the Maine-Anjou. Gotta make sure I spell that right. The Maine-Anjou isn't neat. I could put Charlet there too. Oh, I don't know. Hoofta. There's a tie. I gotta look up how to spell Charlet though. I gotta spell. So, my top 5 breeds would be the Speckled Parks. That's not on there, but I just happen to like that breed. The Shorthorn, the Angus, the Polled Hereford, Maine-Anjou, or Charlet. I have no idea which one I would choose more. And the reason why some farmers don't like these two breeds is that they're tall. You know, they're a tall breed. Okay, so they take longer sometimes to fill out. They're a bigger breed. So if you want growth and in your breed, and a lot of people would do, some people do a Maine-Anjou Angus cross. A lot of people have semi-Angus cross. That's actually becoming a breed. That's actually a breed of semi-Angus. That's actually a breed. So there's Keene Angus too. So those are actually breeds. So that's my top. So that's what I want you to do today, is read through this and pick out your top. You don't have to stick to this, but find your top breeds and email them to me. Okay? See you later.